test done. That was very good, very good.
They can go in a cage, but sometimes if they're sick, they can't. Or like.
What do you think would happen to them if they're sick, right?
They like if their leg cut off, or something dangerous can happen if they're 95 or something, and there's a lot of time on it. And then
So do you think that they might have veterinarians to help care in that? So maybe a doctor comes and looks at them when they get there. Okay. So let's go to the next slide. We'll see what happens at the shelter. So when they get to the shelter, we have all kinds of volunteers, just like the volunteers that you just met. And when they get there, a lot of them have been out on the street or haven't had anybody to take care of them for a while. So we make sure they have plenty of food and plenty of water. We give them a nice, safe, warm, comfortable, or cool if it's the summer, place to sleep, so they get a little bed and they get their own little area. We give them lots of care and love, and that's the biggest thing that we do is we give them a lot of attention and a lot of care and love. We also, to your point, when they come in, we make sure that they are healthy. So they see the veterinarian and we check them for all kinds of things and make sure that they're healthy, and if they need medicine or they need any kind of medical attention, we give them that. Then we make sure they're spayed or neutered. And what that means is that they're not going to have any more puppies or kittens if it's a cat or dog anymore. So we make sure that they've been spayed or neutered and they're healthy before we can maybe try to find them a new forever home. Hang on one second. We also make sure that every day they get lots of exercise and lots of playtime. So we have an area where we walk the dogs, and every day all of our volunteers come in first thing in the morning and they walk the dogs, then they come back again at lunchtime, then in the afternoon, and then at night, and they put the dogs on their leashes and they walk them around. And we have cats, we have a cat area, and our volunteers come in and they play with the cats and help. We do what we call socializing, and that was kind of to your point about tests, is we help to socialize them to make sure that they know how to interact with people, because we're going to try to find them a new home. So you don't want somebody who's not nice, because it's hard to find a new home if you're not nice, right? So we give them lots of playtime, and they go out in the sunshine and relax a little bit and have some fun. And most importantly, we let them know that they're loved. And our volunteers spend a lot of time with the pets, just petting them and making sure that they know that somebody cares for them every day. And so there's a little puppy getting some love, and we give them medical. We call that giving them love too, and we take care of them, and we make sure they're healthy and they feel good. And the biggest thing that we do at the shelter is we help pets to find their new family. So we go through a process once they've been tested and make sure they don't have anything wrong with them from a health standpoint. We make sure that their minds are healthy and they're socialized and they're ready to find a new family. And then we meet families and we match them up and help people find the perfect pet to take home. So if it's a big dog, like some of these dogs in the picture, we want to make sure that it goes to a home where there's a big yard or they can exercise it. Yes?
I have a dog, and it's a pit bull lab mix.
Wow, so it's a big mix, huh?
And I got it, and we had to go to the veterinarian, and they had to make sure it was healthy, and they looked like it had everything.
Yeah, so that was doing the responsible thing, was taking your dog to the vet and make sure it's healthy and make sure it doesn't have any diseases and getting it shots. And what I think we're going to do is when you get your chance to pet the dogs, maybe at that time you can tell the other dogs about your pets and what you have and share that with them, because we need to stay on our task here.
Okay,
Yeah?
so hands up and listen.
So we're going to talk about in a minute if you are ready to adopt a pet and all that's involved in adopting a pet. So we have a little friend that we wanted you to meet. And this is our friend for your class. This is Benji. And Benji is going to stay with you for a few weeks.
Oh, yay.
And you're going to learn all about how to take care of Benji. And he's going to be your imaginary pet. Or I don't think he's really imaginary because he's right here. But he's going to be your pet for the next 6 weeks. And you're going to learn all about him. And I'm going to tell you about what his story is and where he came from and how he ended up at the shelter and how he got picked for your class.
I'm Benji. I, just like Karma, am a golden doodle. So here is my story. One day, I was sitting at the house. I had a wonderful lady that lived with me. She was older. It was just she and I. Every day, we were the best of friends. She walked me every day. She petted me. I got lots of attention. I slept on the couch. I loved her so much. She was older, all by herself, no family around. And then one day, I noticed she was starting to get sick. And then the ambulance came. And they had to take her away, and she got really sick. And she never came back. And I'm not really sure what happened to her. And I waited and waited and waited for her to come back all day. And she didn't come back. And day and night, and she still didn't come back for me. About a week later, so there I am. I'm at the house, and there's hardly any water. I dug through, I found where my bag of food was, and I chewed a hole in it, and I ate some of that. And about a week later, somebody came to the house, one of her family members, and they found me. And they're like, oh, we didn't realize she had a dog. But they didn't want me, and they couldn't take care of me. So they picked me up, and they took me into the shelter. When I got there, I was so scared. I'd been left alone for a week. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be with anybody. I didn't want to talk to the other dogs. I just stayed by myself. And the girls at the shelter kept trying every day. They didn't come out and play. And finally they did. Then I realized that, you know what, I'm going to be here for a while, so I better put a smiley face on, act like I like it here, and maybe somebody new will come for me. And then Mrs. Conklin came, and she said, I'm going to take Benji to my class. So here I am. And I've got a class to be with for the next 6 weeks. So, Benji's going to stay with you for 6 weeks, and we're going to learn all about how to take care of him every day, what he needs, how to be a responsible pet owner. But one of the things about Benji that I told you, or he told you in his story, was that he was left all by himself. So, then he got brought into the shelter. So close your eyes for a minute. And imagine that you are Benji, and you've been left by yourself in a house for a week. And you're scared, you're tired, you're hungry, you don't know where your person is, and you get brought to the shelter. There's all kinds of other dogs barking and barking and barking, and all kinds of people, and they put you on a leash and ask you to do this, that, and the other thing. If you're Benji, do you think when you get to the shelter you're happy to be there? Are you happy? Maybe. So you're maybe happy that there's people around, but you're missing your person, and you're missing your own house, and your comfy sofa, and your regular meals, and all your treats that you got, and so now you're here at the shelter. So if you think about another situation, say you're a dog that's out on the street, and you've been out wandering for a week, and finally animal control picks you up and brings you in. Now you come to the shelter, and it's a totally different perspective for you, because there's air conditioning, there's food, there's water, there's people, so it's pretty good, huh? So you can open your eyes now. So when dogs come to us at the shelter, some of them are really, really happy to be there, and this is
an improvement of their life to come to the shelter. And then some other dogs, like Benji, when they get to the shelter, they're probably a little bit relieved, but they don't feel so good about it. So when we came to Palm City Elementary School, we heard that you guys were bucket fillers. Is that true? Yes. So what do you think about Benji? Do you think his bucket is empty or full? Empty. It's empty. Why do you think his bucket's empty?
He's still missing his owner.
He's still missing his owner. Why else?
Because he hasn't had anybody to be with him. He doesn't know anybody else. So.
Right. So he doesn't know anybody at the shelter. He doesn't have anybody to be with.
And he's not like used to his surroundings because when he got into the shelter, he didn't know like what to do, but so he just
Yep. So he just stayed in his cage by himself.
didn't have shelter to let him naps on.
He didn't have a sofa to take naps on. He was used to living a really nice life. One more. Yes. You know, it is a pretty true story for a lot of the animals that come to us at the shelter. They come for a lot of reasons, and that's one of the most common reasons is that people get too old or too sick, and they leave their dog behind, and then it gets found like several days later, and that's a very true story, unfortunately. Okay, one more.
Do you have rats?
You know, we consider a rat a wild animal, but every once in a while somebody will bring us in mice, or if it is not that many people have pet rats, but sometimes when they do bring them in, we try to find new homes for them. We've had mice before. People have pet mice, so we get animals like that. We find them new homes, amazingly enough. Last one. Why do you think Benji's bucket is empty?
Because he probably he didn't have a bed because the shelter didn't have that much bed, so they had to lay down on a really hard floor. And I have a question.
Yeah.
If there's no more food for the snakes to eat, do you give the rats to them?
You know, if we get rats that are, and I'll answer your question, then we're going to go on. If we get rats that are brought in as pets, no, we do not feed them to the snakes, because that wouldn't be very nice.
Do you have ponies?
Nope, no ponies, no farm animals. So, we're getting ready to pet the animals, but and we'll be back, and I'm going to leave Benji here in the class with you this week. So Benji has his own little bucket here, and while I'm gone, maybe what you can do for Benji while he's staying with you this week is think about what he's experienced and how his life has been before he came to the shelter, and now that he's here at the shelter, and now he's got a chance to come with you. And you know, we said Benji's bucket is pretty empty, so I'm going to leave you a bucket for Benji, and maybe while I'm gone, you can take some time and think about Benji and fill his bucket up for him a little bit, okay? Do you think you can do that?
Yes.
Okay. So, that's what's going to happen while we're gone. But right now, I bet you everybody wants to pet one of the pets, huh? Okay. So, before we do it, I'm going to remind you, how do you greet an animal? What is the first thing you do?
First, you can ask them.
Yeah?
And then you'll put your hand down in front of their face so they can lick and smell your hand.
Yeah?
And then, after they've known what you smell like, then you can pet them.
Then you can pet them. Exactly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have the dogs each kind of take like a little corner. So maybe Miss Nancy can come over here. Miss Beverly can stay right there. And Miss Elaine can come over here. And then Mrs. Thomas, you want to divide everybody up. You're going to go to groups and you'll have a few minutes with each dog. And what I'll say is, remember to use your super inside voice. Because if we all rush over to the